Paris. And in the quest of what they love so much, they use that as an opportunity to impact society. In 2021 in Tokyo, Alice Nana Deering became the first black female to be part of Team Great Britain for the Olympic Games, which is the pinnacle of every athlete's dream of competing when it comes to participating in major events. In 2023, by virtue of the talent she's got and impacting livelihood, the BBC listed her as one of the individuals who got on the card. And she decided that by virtue of just being a Ghanaian, she has to extend her arm to impact Ghana as well. And she's in the country to launch what she calls Swim with Your Meaning. And we'll be speaking to her to have a clear idea of what Swim with Your Meaning all is and how she began her journey and finally landing in Accra, specifically at the Achimota swimming pool, to impact the next generation of potential swimmers who might equally want to represent Ghana at the Olympic Games. Alice, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for having me. That was such a beautiful introduction.
Thank you. I appreciate it. How are you doing?
Sweet. I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, I love being here. Everyone's so nice. It's such a beautiful country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thanks for welcoming me.
Are you enduring the sun or you're enjoying the sun? Which is which?
A bit of both. I'm enjoying the cloud cover, I'm not going to lie. It's hot. It's very, very hot. It's very unforgiving, isn't it? The heat, it's just constant.
But were you told about this before?
I was warned, yeah. My mum, she's told me stories about here, and like she was always like, it's so hot, it's so hot. So yeah, I've been ready for it, but nothing can quite prepare you from it, especially coming from the UK where it's just rain and grey all the time. Different.
So what perception did you have about Ghana before coming?
So my perception of Ghana was all based on what my mum told me about it. So she'd tell me stories about the night markets, how she would get the bus to the library sometimes, and go to the beach with her son, my eldest brother, and it just sounded like a really beautiful place. Like she always said everyone's so friendly, so welcoming, and I've been fortunate enough to experience that I've only been here this is my third day. So I've only been here for a few days, but I already felt that warmth that she always told me about. So it's been very nice for me, imagining it through the words and her narrative that she told me, and then actually getting to experience it myself. It's been really beautiful.
First time Ghanaian.
It's my first time. Yeah, I'm finally claiming my roots.
And have you tasted our food yet?
Yeah, you know, my mum cooks a lot of jollof rice. I'm constantly going home, and every time I go home, I'm like, I've brought these big containers for her to do like a massive pot of jollof rice, and she spoons it all in for me. I put them into smaller containers, put them in the freezer, but she would make I think red with chicken. I only just found out it's called red. Okay. I always called it chicken sauce just because I just thought it was that's what she called it to me. She called it chicken sauce to me, just to keep it simple. Bean stew had a lot at home, yam, a lot of that, plantain of course, but since coming here, yeah, I need to expand my taste to fufu. My mum would eat that a lot at home, but I never had it, so I need to try it.
Earlier you mentioned about makis. Which maki did your mother talk to you about?
She's from Osu, so I imagine it was from that area. She never specifically said a name, but she always said that they would be kiliwili. Yeah. Kiliwili, yeah. Yeah, kiliwili. I need to try that as well, because it just sounds like it's such a nice environment. Yeah. So yeah, I've got I just imagined it through the little bits that she told me. So I need to put like pictures to the words basically.
She's so sweet and kinky. Have you tried kinky yet?
No, or banku. There's a list. I think the list keeps growing. Every time I speak to someone, like, you need to try this. I'm like, okay, we need to make it a list. So
okay, I'm going to introduce you to northern food because I'm from the northern region.
Please do, thank you.
Have you heard of TZ before?
TZ? No, I haven't. TZ? No.
Chou and Zafi.
Chou and Zafi?
Yes.
No, what are they like?
Oh God. It's a delicacy made out of kondo.
Okay.
So you can use it with okra, we can use it with mian kuka, oh God. I don't even know how to explain this for you to guide it. But it is a special food. And in northern Ghana, especially those of us from remote areas, that's our food.
breakfast, lunch, supper.
Oh wow.
We only get to eat rice maybe during Christmas.
Oh,
yeah, so you have to try Caesar before you eat.
Yeah, I will, definitely.
You will?
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make sure I'll put it on my list. It's on my list now, Caesar. It's on my list.
I'll have to get you some. But let me just take you back. How would you describe your life beginning, your life story?
Ooh, my life story. I've been very fortunate. Loving home, amazing mother. Was very fortunate to get into swimming, have a good education, and been able to travel the world, see different cultures, see different people, hear different stories. I love hearing someone's personal stories, especially related to swimming. It's very powerful, very moving. Quite often there's so many stories surrounding trauma and bad experiences in the sport, or in the activity I should say. So I describe my life as very fortunate, and so with that fortune I'd like to leave something positive behind. I don't want to just carry on through life and not try and impact the world in a positive way. Yeah.
How did you get into swimming?
I get into swimming. So I learned to swim, got in my learned to swim lessons when I was about 4 years old. It was just like at the local pool, and in Birmingham, where I'm from. It's the second biggest city in the UK, and my mum, when I was 8 years old, when I was still doing these lessons, saw the notice board for the local swimming club, and she put me and my second eldest brother in for lessons or sessions with them. And at first I was a bit confused why we were doing it, like I didn't really understand it, but we went along on a Sunday afternoon, and it just blossomed into something that I really started to enjoy. Really loved it. And so did my eldest brother. We started to watch all of the professionals on TV, like the European Championships, the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, and I just used to imagine being a swimmer that could be that good. I never thought I would get there. I never got into swimming to go to the Olympics or to compete for Britain. It wasn't anything like that. I just enjoyed it at the time. People were very quickly saying, oh, she's talented, she could be really good and stuff like this, and I never really believed it because I don't know, you can't see yourself from an outward perspective, can you? So I was just in the water doing my thing. Sometimes I was quite lazy, I'm not going to lie, it's a tough sport, it's very demanding. By 11 years old I was already swimming 7 times a week, so it got intense quite quickly, and I just carried on through the stages, so regionals, nationals, fortunate enough to qualify for the European Junior Championships in 2013, and that was really kind of when I realised that I could be quite good at this. Yeah. So my first time competing for Britain, and was just so proud to make that team. It's one of my fondest memories in swimming, making that team. And then moving forward, went to the World Junior Championships in 2016 and won the 10 kilometre race there in the open water. And again, that was another big point where I was like, okay, the Olympics in 4 years' time are a legitimate possibility for you. And that's when I really was like, okay, let's dig into this, let's lock down, let's try and be the best that you can be. So it's been quite a journey, 18 years in the sport. Went a lot longer than I ever expected it to, did a lot more than I ever expected to, so I'm just grateful for everything that came my way.
Your mother indoctrinated you into swimming, actually.
She did!
Is she a swimmer herself?
She wasn't a swimmer, but she did swim. So she actually did high jump at school.
Okay.
And so she was very athletic, very sporty, and she would go to Labadi Beach and swim quite a lot. I've even seen pictures of her in the sea, and she put us in swimming because she wanted us to do a sport but didn't know where to start, and just seeing the notice board just felt like a natural step for us.
She betrayed the sport she did in secondary school or in school and then pushed you to a different discipline.
Yeah, I know, I was like, why didn't I do athletics? But I guess I'm very lucky that I found my sport. I realised my body, just little things with my body, wouldn't have coped with running too far, or probably wouldn't have been a very good jumper because I'm quite petite. So I'm fortunate I found my sport that could take me to the Olympics. Yeah.
You spoke about the joy of representing the Great Britain. The first time you were made to understand that you are going to the Olympics for Great Britain, how would you describe that moment?
Oh, okay. So I had a qualification race for this, and I do the 10 kilometre race, marathon swim. It's in open water, so we're in the sea, and the course was 5 laps long.
Okay.
And going into the last lap, I knew that I was in the position that I would qualify for the Olympics for Great Britain. So I was swimming for about 20 minutes, trying to keep myself calm, trying to keep your mind engaged in the race to make sure nothing goes wrong. But at the same time, I knew for quite a while, whilst I'm putting my body through this monumental effort, that I was going to qualify for the Olympics. And when I finally touched the pad to cement my place, it was just elation. Yeah, I just couldn't believe what I'd managed to achieve. And there was 3 other women who finished in front of me in that race, and we were all just so happy for each other because it'd been such a long period with COVID. The games had obviously been pushed back. The qualification race had been changed like 3 times before we actually got there, so it was this constant like, when are we going to get to actually have our chance?
Yeah.
And so, you know, you touch the pad, you finish, and it's just the joy is just, yeah, it's a feeling that, you know, I can't quite describe unless you've had that opportunity. Yeah.
Were there moments you had butterflies in your tummy, wondering, am I dreaming or it is real?
I'm still dreaming about it, to be honest. Like, I got the Olympic rings tattooed on me, as you do as an Olympian sometimes, and I forget, and I look down and I'm just like, oh, I did that. I did that. So yeah, it's still something that every day I'm just like, oh my God, I did do that.
Yeah.
Like, it at the time when I qualified, I only had 6 weeks until I competed at the games, so there wasn't any time for celebration. It was like, okay, you need to rest and recover from this race, and then you need to get back into hard training. So the celebration kind of came afterwards. So yeah, it's just, it has been sinking in over a few years, to be honest.
There's difference being a part of the team and being the first black to do it.
Yes, yeah. The history and the barrier breaking that came with it is really special. It's one of those things where it's a shame that we have to highlight the emphasis of being a black swimmer, because I'd love it to be that everyone swam and that, you know, there's no stereotypes surrounding black people. There's no preconceptions that black people can't swim, but I'm emphasising the point that I was the first black woman to swim for Team GB to show that it is capable for us. Swimming is a fantastic sport, it's a fantastic activity. The water doesn't discriminate because of your skin colour, and we all have the capability to learn to swim, and even if learning to swim is the first step, some of us will have the capability to compete at the Olympic Games for our country.
Is that what influenced the inclusivity thing?
Ooh, what do you mean? Sorry.
I've made to understand that you have this inclusivity when it comes to swimming and all that.
Charity.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, I helped co-found the Black Swimming Association, which is a charity, an organisation in the United Kingdom, currently in the UK. Obviously got global eyes, essentially. You know, this is a global issue that black and Asian people swim less, that our drowning rates are much higher, sadly. But we're focused in the UK at raising the awareness of water safety and advocating for black and Asian people in swimming. So yeah, it's grown so much. It's just celebrated its 4th birthday, and we've got an amazing team that are working so hard to make sure more people are getting their swimming lessons and getting over fears of water.
So what influenced that decision to set up the swim with your main name in Ghana?
So obviously helped co-found the charity, and with a charity there's obviously limitations on what it can do, and it has a very specific message of water safety, and that's what the BSA is about. And I'm still part of that. I'm a trustee and I'm an ambassador, I'm a co-founder. That's still a big part of what I do. However, Swim is looking to take swimming to people in an understanding and in a way that they have it as an individual. So starting swimming lessons with Achimoto School to get more people involved in swimming, whether they've done it before or whether they haven't touched water and or might have a traumatic experience in the past, to just have everyone being in touch with water and getting that experience. Because for myself personally, it's been such a beautiful journey. I've taken so much from swimming, it's given me so much. So I feel I'm in a position with the knowledge, with the understanding and the connections that we can build to hopefully let other people experience what I've experienced. And whether that takes someone from being absolutely terrified of water and gets them into water and they feel comfortable and safe, that they can maybe, when they go on holiday, feel comfortable going to the beach or to the pool, that's amazing. Whether that takes someone to the Olympic Games for their country, that's amazing too. So it's working at all levels, whether it's learn to swim or maybe someone who just wants to improve their swimming skills because they want to do a triathlon in a few months' time or something like that.
This generally captures what swim with your meaning means, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. It's about individuality within swimming. You know, so we're starting Swim Accra with Achimota School. This is what we're here today to launch, but we're doing Swim London in a few months' time, and that's going to look very different. That's going to be a 3-day course with 3 hours each day with an hour in the water, but then sessions around that in terms of building up confidence, whether that's a yoga session, a breathwork session, a goal setting session, nutrition workshop, things like that which can add to your lifestyle, not just with swimming, but as a holistic approach. So that's how it looks in London. We're also looking at Southeast Asia at the moment, the Caribbean, North America, and whatever energy a city gives, I want to kind of mimic that back to them and help the community in the way that it needs to be helped. You know, copy and pasting this across the world would work, but sometimes certain communities might not need what London has, and might not need what Accra has, and each place is unique in its sense. So that's what the Swim With Your Meaning is about as well. It's each place is going to have its own energy and its own meaning, and I want to collaborate with that as much as possible to make sure the community gets what it needs.
Making it unique to...
Exactly, to the location, yeah.
So what is your ultimate goal for this?
Ultimate goal? Wow. Ultimate goal is this is a global, worldwide swimming festival, essentially, where it takes place in different places around the world with different energies, different meanings, different programs, different projects, and creates a community in each place that it touches and expands on that. Yeah, so that's the goal. It's very broad, it's very big. You know, this is our first time starting out, and it's, you know, it's going to be a good few years of hard work in setting this up, getting people to back us, to help fund us. So, you know, we're starting here, we're kicking it off in Accra, moving to London in a few months' time, and I hope by the end of the year we've had at least 2 locations that we can say, like, this is the case study, that we have the proof concept that this works, and then next year just keep expanding.
Is there a target that you are seeking to achieve by having these swimmers here? And what are those opportunities you think Swim With Your Meaning presents to these swimmers? So
we started off with 20 today. 20 swimmers will take part in our course over 10 weeks with 2 swimming teachers from Accra. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be here for all 10. We fly back on Wednesday, so we're launching it today, and then the remainder of the 9 sessions will be carried out here at Achimota School with the 2 swimming teachers. But I think we've got a goal of getting about maybe 200 to 250 swimmers through in Accra over 4 years, and this is reliant on, you know, hopefully funding from people, from sponsors, from people seeing this story and seeing how it's going to impact those 20, well, I say 20 students, but they're 15 students from Achimota School and 5 staff from Achimota School, seeing how it impacts their lives in such a positive way, the stories that will come out of it, and just hopefully keep expanding. But that's the story for Accra. The story for London will look a little bit different, but it will still have the same element of the individual aspect of what this gives to a person.
I'll come back to this very conversation. I want to talk to you about esports.
Esports, yes, let's do it.
You're a fan of esports?
I am, yeah. I'm a big fan of gaming, big fan of esports. We were fortunate enough yesterday to have a conversation with the president of the Ghanaian Esports Federation, which I thought was really positive. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of it. I'm on the British Esports Advisory Board as well. I've put my foot out there. I'm just like, guys, I really like this. If there's anything I can do to help, you know, I've used video games to kind of chill out after after swimming sessions, after competitions, to just take my mind away from the pressures of being an athlete. So I'm a big advocate for gaming and esports. Yeah.
There's massive pressure in being an athlete, right?
Yeah, it is. You know, your mind's constantly like, need to do this, need to do that, need to be the best. That wasn't good enough. Most athletes you talk to will never think their performance was good enough, even if they've broken a world record. There's always something that you think you can improve on and that you want to do better next time. So having something to escape to, I think, is really important.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's a certain mindset being an athlete, and especially getting to Olympic level. You have to, it requires so much time and dedication. And not saying that other things don't, but the physical and mental aspects and stress that you put your body through is something else. Yeah, it's a challenge, definitely.
But it's a challenge that you want to go through, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's that prize at the end, isn't it? You know, the Olympics and the Olympic dream fueled me for so long, you know, and the way I kind of processed it was, as I was growing up, I would only look to the next stage. So I'd made county level, and the next stage above that is regional, so I'd only look at regional level. Then when I made regionals, I'd look at national level. And I just kept moving through kind of that process. Eventually, you know, through talent, through hard work, dedication, whatever, get to the point where the next level for me was the Olympic Games. And then it was kind of like, okay, well, I'm here, like, let's try, you know, let's see how far you can take this. So that was my process with it. I didn't want to set my sights too far, because then everything else in between it feels like a mountain. You just have to take baby steps sometimes.
Then this clearly suggests that you need to have a very strong support system around you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I talk about this a lot. Very strong support system. My mum, always been my rock. She was the one getting up at 4:30 in the morning to take me training. Sometimes I felt really bad. She'd be asleep, and I'd gotten ready. I'd done everything that I could do before waking her up, and I'd go knock on her door, and I was like, "Mum, we gotta go." Sometimes it was the other way around. Sometimes she was the one up, and she was like, "Alice, are you getting up?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, let's go." Like, it was long days, difficult days, you know, weekends spent at competitions, at hot pool sides. So much time and effort and dedication went into what I did as a junior growing up through swimming, and the effort that my mum put in was truly incredible, and the sacrifices that she made, that my brothers made, my dad made as well. And then moving past that, as I've grown into being a senior athlete and making this a career, the work of my agent, the work of my fiance, and just the effort and time that a lot of people have put into me, I'm so grateful for. You know, they've truly believed in me, and like backed me with time, money, effort, energy. Yeah, I'm truly blessed. Yeah.
If anyone ever told you you'll be here today talking about Olympic, you're going representing Great Britain in the Olympic Games,
man.
when you began and it was quite stressful, would you have believed it?
Absolutely not. No. You told 9-year-old me, who just loved watching people swim on the TV, watch the Olympic Games a few years later, that you'd go to the Olympics, you'd help co-found a charity, you'd set up like your own venture. I just wouldn't have believed it. Like, I liked swimming, I loved swimming, I enjoyed going to training, but I really never thought that it had that potential to literally change my life and to shape me into the person I am.
Does this mean that you never had someone you were looking forward to in the swimming field?
Ooh, like
someone like
a
Michael
role model.
Phelps?
Oh yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, you see these people, you see the amazing things they do. You know, Michael Phelps, Rebecca Adlington was big one for me. She won 2 Olympic golds in Beijing. Like, truly special talents. But yeah, I looked at them, but I never thought what they were doing was achievable for me. And I suppose in a sense, you know, Michael Phelps, that's something else, you know. Yeah, we don't need to talk about.
He's an impersonator.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, no one's going to compare to Michael Phelps. I mean, Becky Adlington, what she does is absolutely incredible as well. But even just looking at the level of Olympian but not a medalist, the people who went to the Olympics, I was like, wow, like, you've done that. Like, and you hear the stories of like, oh, their training regimes, their diet regimes, and you hear it as a child, and I just felt like, I was like, this isn't for me. And I was like, that's probably not going to be me. I'm actually absolutely fine with that. I'm very happy I proved myself wrong, but at the same time, I think that mindset really helped me just move through the sport at my own pace. There was never an expectation, I never felt like there was an expectation put on me at a young age to be amazing. They're always better swimmers than me at that age, and I'm really grateful that I was able to go under the radar a little bit, take my time developing through the sport, and then blossom into like a senior athlete as I did.